Yo, what's up, guys? C-Jack's back with another video, and I'm getting right into this rant because I am tired of WWE constantly disrespecting Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins on a week-to-week basis. Obviously, a couple nights ago, we got one of the worst Raws I've ever seen in my life. This episode was atrocious. It was garbage. But there's a promo in it with Gunther and Cody Rhodes setting up their Crown Jewel title match in a couple weeks. And guess what? As usual, the promo is built around respect and love, and I care for the opponent, and I respect thee, I love thee, Gunther, why don't you take a ride on the Libation Wheatley bus and drink it neatly? Cody, Semi, shut up! Why is every feud in promo built around respect now? It's all about respect and love and care for the opponent. What happened to Cena Orton? Triple H Randy Orton? Edge and Rollins from a couple years ago? Roman and Brock Lesnar? Roman and Rollins back in the 2010s? What happened to these great feuds? Why are this just gone now? It's all about respect and love and care now. No! Make a good feud, cut good promos, and make it engaging. Make it feel like you actually have beef. And then Gunther proceeds to do one of the worst things I've ever seen. First off, WWE lies. He says WWE is in a big boom period, and it's all on the back of you, Cody Rhodes. It's on you. No, it's not. WWE is not in a big boom period. Yes, they're making a great amount of money because of advertisements and sponsorships. Yes, of course. But the viewership for Raw and SmackDown, even last year, was higher than it is now. And even in a decade ago or 2 decades ago, the viewership was 3 to 4 times what it is now on Raw and SmackDown. Monday Night Raw used to rival Monday Night Football in the viewership. You can go watch the documentary for Vince McMahon, bro. WWE Monday Night Raw used to get like 6 to 8 million views. It used to rival Monday Night Football in terms of viewership week to week, week in, week out. And now look at it. Struggling to barely get 1.6 million consistently. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And for Gunther to say that WWE is in a boom period, which is just a lie, and then they're saying that it's on the back of Cody Rhodes? Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have been grinding week in, week out for the last decade for the most part, outside of, injuries that may have kept them out or other situations. They've been grinding week in and week out. They were in the Shield, which was one of the biggest reasons why WWE was succeeding in the first parts of the 2010s. The Shield was awesome. One of the most iconic factions in wrestling history. And Roman and Seth went on to become big superstars. Roman Reigns is the John Cena of this generation. Seth Rollins is an actual workhorse. He was in there week in, week out, wrestling matches, cutting promos, and filling in wherever he was needed. A real champion of the industry. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns is the guy responsible for these Netflix deals and WWE going to Fox for that 5 years and all this other stuff. The WWE being in this quote-unquote boom period where people are watching it. Roman Reigns is mainstream. The Bloodline is mainstream. Jey Uso and all the yeet and all that stuff is mainstream because of Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn is no longer a jobber because of his work with Roman in the Bloodline. Seth Rollins elevated the World Heavyweight Championship last year from it being a garbage title that just felt secondary to Roman, which it still did, don't get me wrong, but at least it was something that you could watch and be interested and see it defended every week or every other week. You could see it in consistent feuds and consistent segments with a guy who actually knows how to cut promos and deliver great matches consistently. So much to the detriment that Seth Rollins' knees and his back started getting hurt, man. If Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were not in the industry the last 10 years, AEW would be the #1 wrestling promotion on the planet. On the planet! WWE would be dead without Seth and Roman. And we know this because when Roman Reigns is not on SmackDown, last year SmackDown used to get like 2.7 to 2.6 million plus views week to week with Roman as champ, and over the last 2 years in general on SmackDown. Now look at the viewership with Cody. It struggles to barely pull 1.5 million. Cody Rhodes gets less viewership than Jinder Mahal as WWE champion. Are you serious? And AEW would be #1. Because CM Punk was still in AEW a couple years ago. Cody Rhodes was in AEW. Paul Heyman was going to leave WWE in the early 2020s if it wasn't for Roman and him turning heel and the Bloodline being created. And imagine Roman and Seth being gone. You have no Paul Heyman, no Cody Rhodes, no CM Punk. Drew McIntyre wouldn't have had any big-time feuds, really. Because his biggest feuds were Roman and, the stuff with CM Punk recently. He wouldn't have had none of that. None of it. Randy Orton getting old. John Cena getting old. The Rock would have never came back to this garbage piece of trash company with no Roman and no Rollins and no Bloodline. Are you kidding me? You think The Rock is coming back for Cody Rhodes? Or for Kevin Owens? Your Raw main events without Rollins and Roman would be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Or Gunther versus Chad Gable. Are you serious? Your SmackDown main events and your title picture without Roman Reigns would be Kevin Owens and like AJ Styles or LA Knight. LA Knight is awesome, don't get me wrong. But if that's the best act you have in your company, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. The mid-card of SmackDown, you would have had main events with DIY versus like the Street Profits. Or DIY versus like Pretty Deadly. That's what would be main eventing your SmackDowns if it wasn't for Roman and Rollins. They are the true people who have actually helped move the needle over the last 5 to 10 years. They did their job. And I'm sick of the disrespect from people like Michael Cole and Samantha Urban and even Triple H off camera, all these other jobbers, these losers, who at WrestleMania 40, when Cody wins, Samantha Urban is like, "You're a winner! The American Nightmare! Cody Rhodes!" There's nothing wrong with being emotional in that moment, but are you kidding me? This dude's been back for 2 years and you're crying that he won? Like he's had some super hard path? What about what Roman Reigns has went through? What about what Seth Rollins has went through? Like seriously. Roman Reigns had leukemia and was fighting through it, got through it thankfully, and delivered an absolute masterclass the last 4 or 5 years for this company. I didn't hear anyone praising him or crying when they're announcing his name, but we're crying to announce Cody Rhodes' name? Seth Rollins broke a torn knee, torn this, broken that, still out there dropping banger promos and banger segments and banger matches at big PLEs. Ain't nobody crying for him, but we're crying for Cody Rhodes. Get the heck out of here with that, man. And the biggest thing about all of it that I find absolutely absurd is the fact that when Cody came back to WWE in 2022, his career from then until now, which has been the best portion of his whole entire career, obviously, because he's majority been Stardust and mid-carder and a jobber, all that other stuff, it's built off the backs of Roman and Rollins. If it wasn't for that Rollins feud when he first came back to WWE, him beating a prominent member of the roster, it wouldn't have made Cody feel like somewhat of a main eventer in today's landscape. And that feud was very good. Rollins did some great work there and elevated Cody. And what took a sacrifice. He lost to this bum, this jobber 3 times. Cody shouldn't even be in the same sentence as Seth Rollins. Yet Seth Rollins bent the knee and lost to Cody 3 times to make him look better. And Roman Reigns, a feud for Mania 39 and Mania 40 and the stuff with The Rock, the Bloodline. How much has that elevated Cody and made him feel like more of a main eventer and more of a star than he ever has? And even with that, he still is having a bad championship rank because he's not a true superstar. He's a forced main eventer and a forced star. So the guy that apparently this big boom is happening on the back of, he's built his last couple years of his career off the prominence, off the backs of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. You see how stupid this is? And Michael Cole talking about I knew he had it in him from when he was a young man in this industry. No, you didn't. If you knew it, why was he Stardust? You were literally calling matches for this dude as Stardust. But you knew he was going to be a superstar, though. Shut up, man. Shut up. It's absolute nonsense. And when Seth Rollins was pushed at the top of the company in the late 2010s, it didn't work. And I understand that. I get that. But Seth Rollins' career, his body of work, the amazing matches, the great promos, the great stories, the fact that he's willing to be selfless and put others before himself in the industry. Seth Rollins has said in interviews multiple times, and Roman Reigns said this too, it doesn't feel right that they grind for the last decade and carry this company just for some moron like Cody Rhodes, who's been a jobber for 90% of his career, to come back at WrestleMania 38 and just get given the credit that Seth Rollins deserves. This is ridiculous. This company would be nowhere without Roman and Rollins. Cody Rhodes served as a part of this mini resurgence that WWE has had over the last few years. I agree with that. He's helped, don't get me wrong. But to say that it's built on his back is absurd. And it's disrespectful to guys like Roman and Rollins who have grinded in this company, who have been there for over a decade, fighting week in, week out, delivering great stories, and bringing so many millions and millions and millions of dollars to this company. That's what Roman and Rollins have done. They've probably bought over $1 billion to this company in the last decade. Just passively with the stuff they've done and their merch and everything like that. in the segments, the money they've generated, the draw they've had on social media, everything. You include all of that. They've generated probably over $1 billion for this company. And you have the audacity to say that some jobber like Cody Rhodes, who was Stardust, is the guy responsible for this. This is unacceptable. It's unbelievable. It bothers me, man. They don't give any of these dudes the credit that they deserve. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are not going to get the credit that they deserve for helping out this company, bro. They're not going to. They're never going to, probably, until they're out of the company. When Rollins is not on Raw this year, you see how awful the product is. When Roman Reigns is not on SmackDown, you see how awful the product is. Why do you think this is? Why do you think this is? I'm sick of hearing, oh, well, Cody's a bigger star than Seth Rollins. No, he's not. No, he's not. Seth Rollins is better than Cody Rhodes at every aspect of being a professional wrestler. Everything. And Roman Reigns is better than Cody Rhodes at every single aspect of being a professional wrestler. Yet we're supposed to bow down and get on our knees and respect this dude. I respect thee, hero. We're supposed to respect this guy because he's had 2 years where he's been in prominence in WWE? When Rollins and Roman have been in prominence for 12 years? Are you out of your mind? I honestly, I don't understand this logic here, man. I don't get it. I really don't. These people now in WWE have no respect for what came before. No respect. None. Why do you think that WWE is getting Netflix deals? Why do you think that WWE is able to branch out and get these big sponsorships? They're getting sponsored by Prime. Look how Logan Paul and KSI and all these people like Jelly Roll, even who was at SummerSlam, Jelly Roll's blazing now. Look at how all these people talk about Roman Reigns as a businessman. Look about how they talk about him as a worker, as a wrestler, as a performer, as a human being. A guy who sat there and fought through leukemia to deliver amazing shows. You think that all these days that Roman Reigns has been living with leukemia, that he's never woken up and felt upset or felt in pain or felt discomfort? And he still goes out there for years and delivers A+ work. And that's why he's going to go down as the greatest of this generation. Easily. And Seth Rollins, you think he hasn't been injured or hurt, working week to week, show to show, month after month, carrying this company on his back? On his back? You think he's never hurt before? We've seen him get injured. And he still goes out there and fights. He put on a WrestleMania 40 this year with a blown out knee and a hurt back. And he still was out there wrestling both nights with a torn knee. You think these people aren't hurt? And they still went out and put on the best product for us fans and for the company and for the business and for the world. And you have the audacity to tell me that Cody Rhodes, this boom period, which isn't even a boom period, that's a lie. They're telling you that this boom period is on Cody's back. And Triple H has done this multiple times. They consistently don't bring up Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns when it comes to there being a boom period. They never bring them up, really. Unless it's off camera and like you get an interview with some worker at WWE like Michael Cole or something. And even then, they don't respect Roman Reigns that much. They don't. It's all about Cody Rhodes and Wheatley and respect and all this stuff in the libation bus. Stop the nonsense. Without Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, or Roman Reigns and Rollins, sorry, this company would not be where it's at. It would not. I don't care what anybody says, it would not be where it's at. And the sooner you accept that, the better. I'm tired of Triple H, this bald egghead, and Cody Rhodes, and Gunther, and these newer gen jobbers trying to convince us that the WWE is in a big boom period, and that it's the best it's ever been, and that we have the biggest stars we've ever had, and we have this, and we have that. No, you don't. You have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, who are the backbone and the anchors of the wrestling industry. And they have been for many years, and it's going to continue that way until they retire, or until they fall off. So stop the disrespect and acknowledge not only Roman Reigns, no pun intended, but acknowledge Seth Rollins. This is the shield. This is the backbone. These are the anchors. This is the real bloodline of the WWE and of the professional wrestling industry for a decade now. Show some respect and acknowledge greatness. Now have a great day. Peace out.